Morning, everyone. Okay, so for today's lesson, I will be discussing the relate part two of relational database model. Okay, so in this lesson, our objectives is to define terms, list five properties of relations, state two properties of candidate keys, define the first, second, and third normal form, describe problems from merging relations, transform ER and ER diagrams to relations, create tables with entity and relational integrity constraints, use normalization to convert anomalous tables to well-structured relations. Okay, so first thing is we have here the components of relational model. So data structure. So in data structure, it consists of tables, relations, rows, and columns. So when we say tables, so these are the primary organizational units in a relational database. So they represent a collection of related data items similar to a spreadsheets. So data manipulations, by the way, also rows. Each row in the table represents a single record or instance of the data, and columns as well is each column defines a specific attribute or characteristic of the data within the table. And for data manipulation, we have a powerful SQL operations for retrieving and modifying data. So this is a powerful language to interact with relational databases. Okay, so SQL provides command for retrieving, inserting, updating, and deleting data. And the mechanisms of data integrity is the relational model incorporates mechanism to ensure the accuracy and consistency of data. So this includes features like primary keys, foreign keys, and constraints. Okay, so a relation is a name, a two-dimensional table of the data. So it consists of rows. Okay, so rows represents individual data items or instances, and also columns. So columns defines as attribute or a field in the table. So this define the characteristics or properties of the data within each row. Okay, so the requirements for a table to qualify as a relation is it must have a unique name. Okay? So each relation should have a distinct name to identify it. It must also atomic attribute values. So the values in each column must be indivisible and cannot contain multiple values or composite values. As well is unique rows. So no two rows can have exactly the same values for all their attributes. So this ensures that each row represents a unique combination of data. And unique attribute names, irrelevant column order, and irrelevant row order. Okay? The correspondence with the entity relationship model, okay, is relations, or shall we say the tables and the entity types in both models. Relations in a relational database correspond to entity types in an ER model. So entity types represents the fundamental entities or object in a system. Okay. So relations also, we have relations and many-to-many relationships. So many-to-many relationships in an ER model are typically represented as separate relations. So in a relational database, this is because many-to-many relationships involves two or more entities that can have multiple instances associated with each other. Okay, so rows and entity instances. So rows in a relation corresponds to entity instances. So entity instances are specific. occurrence or example, excuse me, examples of an entity type. So rows also with many-to-many relationship instances. So rows in the relation representing a many-to-many relationship corresponds to instance of that relationship. And a column corresponds with attributes in a relation correspond to an attribute. Attributes are properties or characteristics of an entity type. So take note that it is crucial to understand the term relation in a relational database. It is not the same as the term of relationship. Okay? In an ER model, a relation in a relational database is structured table of data, while relationship in an ER model is association between two or more entity types. Okay? So they are different, relation and relationship. So let's proceed with key fields. So key fields are special fields that serve two main purposes. We have the primary key and the foreign key. First, let's talk about primary key. So when we say primary key, it is a unique identifier. Okay? It also distinguishes that each row in a relationship from the others. Okay? So common examples of primary keys include employee numbers, social security number, or any other attribute that guarantees that no two rows will have the same value. Okay, next is we have the foreign keys. So foreign keys, these are uh, references to a parent relation. Okay, so it is dependent relation. Asa siya depend sa iyahang parent. Okay? So, the parent relations. So, foreign keys are identifiers that enable a dependent relation on the many side of the relationship. So, it refer to its parent relation. Okay? So, relationship establishment, foreign keys establish a connection between related tables ensuring data integrity and consistency. So there are different types of keys. We have simple keys, composite keys. Okay, so keys can be simple or a single field, or it could be composite, more than one field. So keys usually use as indexes to speed the response to user queries. Okay, so here's an example of the usage of foreign key and primary key. Okay, so we have here a customer. So in the columns, you can see the customer ID, customer name, uh, customer address, customer city, customer state, customer postal code, right? So the purpose of this one is to store information about individual customers. Okay, we also have here the order. So the order, you can see the different uh, attributes. We have the order ID, order date, customer ID. So customer ID here is the foreign key. Customer ID here is the foreign key. So the purpose of this is to hold the record, okay? To hold the records that is placed by the customers. So the customer ID column sa ibabaw is a foreign key that references the customer ID column in the customer table. Okay, so it is indicating a one-to-many relationship between customer and the order. We also have here the order line. Okay, so the order line, makita ninyo si order ID, product ID, and ordered quantity. So the purpose here is to detail the specific product included in each order. So the combined fields, okay, the combined fields, order ID and the product ID form the primary key of this table. It is uniquely identifying each order line. Individually, these fields are foreign keys that reference the order ID and the product ID columns in the order and the product tables. So respectively, it is indicating a many-to-many relationship between order and the product. And the product here, you have the product ID, product description, product finish, product standard price, and product ID. So the purpose is to store information about the products offered by the company. And the relationship with use here is one to many relationship between customer and the order, since a single customer can place multiple orders. Okay? Next, we have integrity constraints. So it must domain constraints. So the allowable values, okay, define the domain constraints, define the permissible values for the attribute, for permissible values for an attribute. So this ensures that only a valid data is entered into the database. For example, a gender attribute might have a domain constraint of male and female. Okay? So, mao lang ang iyang permissible value. Iyang pwede value nga ibutang. And entity integrity. So, no primary key attribute may be null. So, all primary key field must have data. Dili siya pwede nga zero or empty. And action assertions, business rules. So, you recall the business rules from the lesson 3. Okay? So this is an example of domain definition enforced domain integrity constraints. So we have here the customer attribute, customer ID. Domain here is customer IDs. And description is set of all possible customer IDs. Okay? Muna yung mga definitions of invoice attributes. Next one is we have integrity constraints. So when we say integrity constraints, we have referential integrity. Okay, this rule states that any foreign key value on the relation of the many side must match to a primary key value in the relation of the one side, or the foreign key can be a null. Okay, so matching primary key, any foreign key value on the many side of the relationship must match a primary key value in the related table on the one side of the relationship. Okay, so for example, we have the delete rule. So delete rule, we have the restrict. So restrict is if a related row exists in the dependent side, or shall we say the parent side, the table with the foreign key. Deleting a row from the parent side or the dependent side is not allowed. Okay, it is restricted. And we also have here cascade. Cascade is, it is automatically delete. Okay, the dependent side rows that correspond with the parent side row to be deleted. And set to null, if a related row exists in the dependent side, deleting a row from a parent side will set the foreign key into dependent side to null. Okay, so this option is not allowed for weak entities. So weak entities, these are no independent existence. Okay, muna ang mga weak entities. So example of a referential integrity constraints for fine valley furniture, we have this customer ID indicates as dependent table. So customer is dependent table. Okay, so the customer table is the parent table for the order table. Okay, ang order is dependent to the customer. Okay, so this means that the customer ID in the column in the order, okay, must match with an existing customer ID in the customer table. Dapat pareha si customer ID from the customer and customer ID from order. It must match. Okay? Since si order, it is dependent with this customer ID. Okay? So the order table here is the parent table for the order line table. Okay? So this means that the order column in the order line table must match an existing order in the order table. Okay? And also, we have here the product. So the product is dependent to order line. Okay? So product ID is dependent to order line. Okay? We also have here SQL table definitions. We have the create table. So create table, customer ID. So a SQL table definition. So this type of one is they call this one. Okay, so we have here. So the key points, we have the table names. So table names are, we have the customer ID, customer name, customer address, customer city, customer state. So this is an example of SQL table definitions. We also have here the different tables. We have here the different constraints. Okay. So we have here constraint order primary key. Okay, so we have here order ID is dependent to customer ID. Okay, so let's proceed. So transforming ER diagrams into relations. So simple attributes, mapping regular entities to relations. Okay, so we have different types of mapping. We have the direct mapping. Okay, so direct mapping, it is a simple attributes which are single valued attributes are mapped directly onto the corresponding relation as columns. So for example, if an entity name employee has a simple attribute of employee ID, then the employee ID column will be created in the employee relation. And will we say composite attributes? Okay, we have composite attributes. These use only their simple component attributes. Okay, so example is if an entity name address has a composite attribute like street address consisting of street name, street number, and city, then the relation address will have columns street name, street number, and city. So muna sila ang composite. And multi-valued is already discussed. It becomes a separate relation with a foreign key taken from a superior integrity. Like for example, katong skills, from main ni siya of value. Okay. Next is we have mapping a regular entity. So we have here a customer entity type with a simple attribute. So this shows the customer entity type in an ER diagram. So it has the following simple attributes like customer ID, customer name, customer address, customer postal code. And we have here the customer relation. So customer relation, so this shows the corresponding relation in the relational database. So this relation is named customer. So it is the same attributes as the entity type represented in columns in the relation. Same as ibabaw. Ang ilahalang differences is we have the customer relation for the B and a simple attribute for customer entity. Next is we have here a customer with an entity type with a composite value. So customer with an first is we have here, this shows that the customer entity type in an ER diagram, it shows the composite attribute name, the customer address. Okay, for the customer, which is composed of the three, we have customer address, which is composed with the three components. We have the customer street, customer city, and customer state. While on the second one, we have the customer relation with address detail. So this shows, second one, part, letter B. This shows the corresponding relation between the corresponding relation in the relational database. So the relation is named customer. The composite attribute customer address has been decomposed into its individual components, which are now represented as separate columns in the relation. We have here the customer ID, customer name, customer street, customer city, customer state, and customer postal postal code. So mapping an entity with a multi-valued attribute. Okay, so we have here an employee entity type with an entity type in an ER diagram. So it has a multi-valued attribute named skill. So which can have multiple values for a single employee. So we also have here a on the B second part, we have employee relation and employee skill relation. So the multi-valued attribute skill has been transformed into separate relation named employee skill. Okay, so the employee relation now only contains the simple attributes employee ID, employee name, and employee address. And the employee skill relation contains two columns. We have the employee ID, okay, a foreign key that references the employee ID in the employee relation, establishing one-to-many relationship, and the skill, the individual skill values associated with each employee. It could be multi-valued. So transforming EER diagrams into relation. So mapping weak entities, it becomes a separate relation with foreign key taken from the superior entity. So primary key composed of partial identifier of weak entity, primary key of identifying relation. Okay, so separate relation, or shall we say weak entities. These are dependent on the other entities for their existence. So they cannot exist without, okay, they cannot exist without having a strong entity. So these are typically represented as separate relation in the relational database. So foreign key, the weak entity relation has a foreign key taken from the superior entity. So the entity that weak entity depends on, and the primary key of the weak entity relation is composed of partial identifier or a primary key of the identifying relation. We have here an example mapping of a weak entity. So when we say weak entity, it is dependent. Okay. So we have here the employee name. Okay. So we have here the dependent name. It is dependent to employee name. So we have here, this cannot be exist. The dependent name cannot exist without the employee name. So it is a weak entity, okay, or shall we say dependent entity. So let's proceed with an example mapping with a weak entity relation resulting from weak entity. So we have here an employee ID. So the dependent is we have here the first name, middle, last name, employee ID, date of birth, and gender. So we have here this area here, this cannot be exist. Can first name, middle initial, last name, employee ID. This cannot be exist without an employee. Okay. So take note that domain constraint for the foreign key should not be null. Okay. If dependent if dependent is a weak entity. Okay? So, dapat ang imong employee ID cannot be null. Dili siya pwede ma-zero. Or else, this attribute here, dili siya mabutangan. Okay? So, mapping binary relationships, we have the one-to-many. So, one-to-many, primary key on the one side becomes a foreign key on the many side. Many-to-many relationship, you create a new relation with a primary keys of the two entities as its primary key. One-to-one, primary key on the mandatory side becomes a foreign key on the optional side. Okay? We have here an example of mapping of one-to-many relationships. We have here relationships between customer and the orders. So we have here the customer ID. Okay, it is mandatory and it submits an optional order ID. Okay. So we also have here mapping the relationship between the customer and the order. So customer ID, customer name, customer address, customer postal code. So customer ID here becomes a foreign key of the order nga relationship. Okay? So again, no null value in the foreign key. So this because the mandatory minimum cardinality we have here mandatory. Okay? So dili siya pwede ma-empty. Next one is we have a example mapping of many to uh, wait lang nawala ko yung presentation. We have here hello. So we have here a many to many relationships. Okay, it completes the relationship between many to many. So we have here an employee ID. This is optional, and the course ID. This is optional also. So it completes the relationship. Will need to become a separate relation. So this shows completes. Okay, ang iyang relationship is defined as completes between the employee and the course entity. The employee here, the employee entity has the attributes of employee ID, employee name, and employee's birth date. So the course entity has the attributes of course ID and the course title. So the diamond shape, we have here the circular shape, symbol between two indicate, we have here kaning diamond shape. Okay, so we have here the diamond shape. It indicates a many-to-many relationship, meaning that employee can complete many or multiple courses, and the course can be completed by multiple employees. So in mapping the relational database, in the relational database, many-to-many relationship are typically represented by creating a separate relation. So the new relation will have a primary key composite primary key consisting the primary keys of two entities involved in the relationship. So in this case, the new relation would be named completes and would have the following columns: employee ID, foreign key referencing employee, course ID, foreign key representing the course, and the date completed. Okay, next we have Example mapping, so continuation of many-to-many relationship. So three resulting relations, we have the course ID dependent to certificate, and certificate dependent to employee. So take note, we have here employee ID. It becomes a foreign key in the certificate, and course ID, it becomes this is a foreign key of the course. Okay. So next is we have example of mapping binary one-to-one relationship. So we have here a nurse. This is mandatory. Okay. One nurse, mandatory, one-to-one. Is in charge, two is in charge with one care center. Okay. So take note. So we have here this shows an in-charge relationship. We have here in charge between the nurse and the care center entities. So the nurse entity here has the attributes of the nurse ID, nurse name, and nurse birth date. While the care center has the attributes of center ID and the center location. So the relationship is one to one. Okay, so if we are going to map the if we're going to map here the relational database in one-to-one relationship, one side is optional, meaning that the instance of one entity can exist without being associated with an instance of the other entity. Okay, so we have here to represent this in the relational database, the primary key of the mandatory side, the nurse ID, becomes a foreign key in the optional side. Okay, the care center. Okay. So in this example, let's assume that the care center must have a nurse in charge, but a nurse is not necessarily assigned to a care center. Therefore, the primary key of the care center or the center ID would become a foreign key in the nurse relation. Okay? So, we can have here the nurse relation, the nurse ID as the primary key, nurse name, nurse birth date, and pwede na to dungagan sa ubos og center ID as the foreign key. So, sa care nga entity, we have the center ID as the primary key, the P key, the center location. Okay? So take note that the foreign key is dependent to a PK, primary key. Okay, so we have here the resulting relations. We have the nurse ID, nurse name, and nurse birth date. So we have here center ID, center location, nurse in charge, date assigned. So pwede rin po nato siya buhaton as a nurse ID, nurse name, nurse birth date, and the center ID. Since si center ID is dependent na dayon siya sa care center. Okay? Same ra gyapon. Pwede ra pud siya as inani center ID, center location, nurse in charge, and date assigned. So foreign key goes on in the relation on the optional side, matching the primary key on the mandatory side. Okay. So mapping associative entities. So identifier that is not assigned. It could be it will be resolved as a default primary key for the association relation. The relation is composed of the primary keys of the two entities as many to many relationships. Okay, so identifier assigned to it is natural and familiar to end users, and the default identifier may not be unique. Okay, so we have here associative entities. These are used to represent many to many relationship between two or more entities. So these are often used to store additional information about relationship itself. So identifier not assigned or default primary key when an associative entity does not have a unique identifier assigned to it, the default primary key is composed of the primary keys of the two entities involved in the relationship. So this is similar to the approach used to many relationship, and an identifier assigned natural and familiar. Okay, so if an associative entity has the unique identifier assigned to it, it can be more natural and familiar to end users as it provides a direct way to reference the identify instance of the association. Okay? We also have here, next is default identifier. It may not be unique. Okay. However, it is important to note that the default identifier, or shall we say it composed of the primary keys of the two entities, may not always be unique. In such cases, a unique identifier must be explicitly defined for the associative entity. Next is we have here example mapping of associative entity. An associative entity is we have here order line. So this shows the order line entity, which is an associative entity representing the relationship between the order and the product entities. So the order line here has the following attributes: ordered ID, foreign key referencing from the order, and the product ID, foreign key representing from the product, order quantity, product line, or a foreign key representing to a product line. So the key points here, we have the associative entity. The order line entity is an associative entity because it represents the association between two other entities. Okay. Next is we have three resulting relations. Okay. So the order, uh, this shows that the three resulting relations after the mapping processes. So the order and the order line and the product relations remain unchanged from the previous mga examples. So the key points here, we have the composite primary key. Okay, so the order line relation, composite ang iyahang primary key. We have the product ID, since product ID has a multiple attributes. So we have here the order line, the relation in which is the associative entity has a composite primary key formed from the two foreign keys, order ID and the product ID. So this ensures that each unique combination of order and product is represented in the relation. So the relationships between the order line, or the order line relation, acts as an intermediary between order and the product entities, establishing many-to-many relationship between them. Okay? So example mapping of an associative entity in with an identifier. Shipment associative entity is dependent to both customer and vendor. Okay? Okay, sige. Wait lang, mag-pause ako. Tama lang sa tadiri. So, let's have the part 2 on the next. Okay, medyo taas ni siya nga discussion.